Hello again, my little conscripts, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. In today's episode, we are going to be doing a unit review and deep dive from the 10th edition Imperial Guard Codex. This time, we will be casting our eye over the returning, because they used to have a Forge-World datasheet, Krieg Combat Engineers. I know there are lots of Shovel Boys and Gasmask Bros who are very excited to see the triumphant return of some of the coolest infantry in the Guard. And so without further ado, let's not mess around any further. Let's grab our trench clubs and charge right into this thing. Attention Guardsmen, the Mordian Glory channel is now officially sponsored by Wargames Atlantic. Wargames Atlantic sells fantastic multi-part plastic kits which are perfect for expanding and augmenting your Guard army. Not only do you get a very generous amount of models for a very impressive price point, but also they have a bulk buy discount. The more you buy, the bigger you save. And what's even cooler is they've got loads of different designs to choose from. You've got your Bulldogs, which could count as Praetorians. You've got your Le Grognards, which could count as Mordians, Kriegers, or Vestorians. But if you're looking for something a little bit more modern sci-fi, maybe you're a big Aliens fan, then check out their Ura models, which could count as Cadians or Colonial Marines. So if you like what you see, then please click the affiliate link down in the description below. It's a great way of getting yourself some new models and supporting the channel at the same time. A huge thank you to Wargames Atlantic for sponsoring the channel, and now let's get back to the video. As is tradition, let us begin with a cheeky gander at the stat line. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this stat line, it's pretty standard issue for the Guard. You've got a movement of 6, a toughness of 3, you've got 1 wound, and you've got leadership 7. What differentiates these guys from your standard guardsmen and puts them into more of an elite category is they have got a 4+ save representing the lobster armor, and they've also got a reduced objective control of 1. You tend to find that's what happens with Guard Elite Infantry versus Battle Line Infantry. The Battle Line have got the better objective control, better for digging into those objectives, locking them down. And the Elite guys tend to be more focused on being a bit tougher and doing a bit more damage. Overall, I am not particularly surprised by this stat line. It is exactly what you would expect from a more elite Guard Infantry choice. So with that said, let's move swiftly on onto what makes this unit interesting, starting with the war gear, the weapons, and the unit composition. Your Krieg Combat Engineers start off as a 5-man squad, 1 Watchmaster and 4 Engineers, but you can upgrade them to be a 10-man squad, adding an additional 5 Combat Engineers. Deciding on whether to go for the bigger squad or the smaller squad, I think it's really going to come down to points availability. If you have the points to spring for the big squad, you probably want to. But if you want to keep these guys lean and maybe keep them focused on doing lots of mortal wounds, as we'll see later on, then I think you can definitely get away with taking them as little 5-man squads. If you do take 5-man squads, I think you have to see them as 100% sacrificial. They're going to go out there, they're going to do some boom boom, and then they're going to go and dine by the Emperor's table. Regardless of what squad size you go for, every single model comes equipped in the same way, at least initially. You get an auto pistol and a trench club. The auto pistol is essentially just a reskinned las pistol. It's not very impressive. It's not much to write home about. You get 1 attack and a very middling ballistic skill with strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. The trench club is a little bit more interesting. You do get 2 attacks with it, which is double what you would expect from a normal Guardsman profile, although it does put these guys in line with things like Kazakin and Scions. But they actually have an advantage over those because the trench club are strength 4, whereas your normal close combat weapons are only strength 3. Unfortunately, I really don't think that the auto pistol trench club loadout is the one you want to go for. Even with being a bit of extra strength, these guys are going to struggle as a close combat unit. So if the beginning loadout is a bit pants, what do we want to do to make these chaps better? Well, fortunately, they do have some war gear options. Firstly, one Krieg Combat Engineer's auto pistol and trench club can be replaced with one flamer and close combat weapon, and you just want to do that off the bat. Flamers aren't great, but they ignore cover. They also automatically hit. That's why the ballistic skill says NA. And they also have a strength of 4, which is much better than your auto pistol's strength of 3. Quick side note, there is a quirk with the Krieg Engineers where it doesn't matter how big the squad size is, you only get one flamer. So if you've got a 5-man squad, you get one flamer. If you've got a 10-man squad, you get one flamer. That's a little unusual. Normally, and you can see this with Scions, for example, if you start off with a 5-man squad, you get less special weapons, but if you go up to the bigger squads, you get more special weapons. I would have liked to see this as one Krieg Combat Engineer per 5 may upgrade to a flamer, because being able to get double flamer in this unit feels a lot spicier than just having the one, especially in a 10-man squad. For the next war gear option, we have got the ability to swap out our auto pistol and trench club for one auto pistol and one remote mine and one close combat weapon. Again, you just want to do this straight away because it's just a straight upgrade over having just a trench club. That remote mine is one of the best abilities in the game, and it's one of the #1 reasons you want to take the Krieg Engineers. We'll get into the remote mine when we're looking at abilities and stuff later on, but for now, take it as read that you always want the remote mine, you always want the flamer. We have one more option for the regular combat engineers, and that is any remaining guys that have got auto pistols and trench clubs can swap out that loadout for a combat shotgun and a close combat weapon. Again, you want to do this. You just want to do this. Your combat shotgun is strength 4. It's got 2 shots, and it's got the assault keyword, which means you can move and do an advance roll and still shoot. This means that you could potentially have your Krieg Combat Engineers going 12 inches if you get lucky on that advance roll and still being able to shoot with their shotguns. It's just a much better rule than pistol. It's just way better. And what's also kind of cool about this is you can start combining it with things like move, move, move. A move gives you another 3 inches to your move characteristic. So you could move 9 inches, make an advance roll of up to 6 inches, and still be able to shoot. That's a big deal. That allows you to actually get up the board, and it allows you to start doing some damage, bullying those initial screening units that you find a lot of armies like to take and infiltrate into the middle of the board. And also means that I've lost a place. We have one last war gear option for the regular engineers. You can basically swap out the auto pistol and club for a shotgun and a close combat weapon. Yeah, you're going to end up being strength 3 in combat, but you're going to be strength 4 at shooting. And that's where you want the strength to be. Guardsmen, we don't really want to get into combat. The kind of things we can beat in combat are like Fire Warriors and Gretchen. That's kind of it. We like to shoot people. So if we can make our shots strength 4, then we're going to do that every single time. The combat shotgun also is really cool because not only is it a higher strength, but it's got more shots than the pistol. And also it's got the assault keyword, which means you can move, then make an advance roll, adding potentially up to 6 inches to your move and still be able to shoot. So your Kriegers, with a bit of luck, could go from movement 6 to movement 12 and still be able to shoot. You can combine that with the move order. So you could go up to 15 inches in one turn and still be able to shoot. Of course, that's looking at the best case scenario. It's probably best to look at the averages. And when you roll an advance roll, the average is 3 to 4 inches. But still, with a move and with a good advance roll, you are looking at, on average, doubling your movement characteristic and not losing any firepower. We do have a couple more war gear choices, but these are for the Watchmaster only. He can swap out the auto pistol for a bolt pistol, a hand flamer, or a plasma pistol, and he can swap out his trench club for a chainsword or power weapon. Out of all of these options, when it comes to swapping the trench club out, you definitely want to go for that power weapon every single time. It is just a straight upgrade. You end up with more attacks. You end up with more AP. It's just a straight upgrade. Don't even think about it. Go for the power weapon every single time. As for the pistol, you don't want to keep the auto pistol no matter what, and I think the go-to choice is going to be the plasma pistol. Once again, it's just so much wildly more powerful than any of the other options. You always supercharge because supercharging is the Chad way of firing your weapons, and that means you're going to be strength 8, AP -3, and 2 damage. I mean, just look at that stat line and then just compare it to the auto pistol. It's not even in the same league. It's not even the same galaxy. There is an interesting argument to be made for the hand flamer. That definitely gets an honorable mention. Yeah, it's a lot weaker than the plasma pistol, but it kind of pairs nicely with the flamer, because it's essentially just a slightly weaker flamer. So being able to chuck out 2d6 automatic hits, I like it. I can definitely get behind it. But I think that's going to be more of a vibes choice, more of a fluff choice, more of a rule of cool choice. I think, competitively speaking, what is the best option? Plasma pistol, power weapon, every single time. In fact, overall, I think if you're taking a 5-man Krieg squad, you're going to want to equip them with one guy with the flamer, one guy with the remote mine, 2 chaps with the shotguns, and then your Watchmaster with the plasma pistol and power weapon. And if you're going for a 10-man squad, you want to have one guy with the flamer, one guy with the remote mine. You're going to want to have the Watchmaster with the plasma pistol and power weapon, and then you're going to want 7 guys with the shotguns. Here's the thing, though. This is still a pretty weak loadout in comparison to, say, Kazakin or Scions, because they're rocking around with plasma pistols, power swords. Scions can get power fists on their sergeants. They've got plasma guns, melter guns, grenade launchers. They've got hotshot volley guns. They've got sticks. They've got sharp knives. They've got electronic ball breakers. So why are we taking the Krieg combat engineers when we've got other elite infantry which seem to come with so much more firepower? What's the deal here? Well, it all comes down to their abilities and their war gear abilities, okay? So starting off, they have the core ability of Scout 6 inches. This means that at the beginning of the game, after you've determined who is going to go first, your unit can do a free 6-inch move. So you deploy them, you roll off to who goes first turn, and then even if your opponent goes first, you can do a 6-inch scout move. This could be great for pushing up early, or it can be great for repositioning into a more defensive position. Maybe deploy them out in the open, and then your opponent got first turn. Quick scout move behind that ruin, and your guys should be safe. Or maybe you got first turn, you're like, right, let's get on up there. Scout move straight forward, then start moving. You guys get the drill. If you're a newer player, it's easy to overlook scouts. You might think that it's just a bit of a gimmick. But trust me, I think it is one of the most powerful core abilities in the game. And when you get good at using it, it opens up a whole bunch of tactical possibilities. But let's get into their unique abilities. And the first one is Grenadiers. You can use grenades on this unit for 0 CP. Now, grenades is one of the best stratagems in the game. In fact, most armies that have access to it tend to budget 1 CP a turn for it every single turn, just because you can just keep spaffing out those mortal wounds. Essentially how it works is you get within 8 inches of the enemy. If you've got the grenades keyword, you roll 6d6, and for each 4+, you get a mortal wound. So that is potentially 6 mortal wounds. No armor saves allowed, no invulnerable saves allowed, only a feel no pain. You can do it for free on these guys. So just taking a 5-man squad, we're kind of talking before about 5-man squads versus 10-man squads. There's a big argument for just taking 5-man squads, scouting them forward, moving them, and then because you've got assault, because of the shotguns, you're still eligible for grenades. You can yeet grenades at people and just start doing those mortal wounds right from the get-go. But it's the combination of grenades with the remote mine which really takes this unit to the next level. Once per battle, at the start of your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of the bearer. Sounds like a long-range grenade, an extra 4 inches on it. And roll 1d6. On a 3+, that enemy unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. or D3 plus 3 mortal wounds instead if it is a vehicle or a fortification. That's so good. On average, that means that a squad of engineers that throws grenades and then triggers the remote mine can do 6 mortal wounds. And potentially a maximum of 12 mortal wounds. That can be enough. If you get lucky, especially against a vehicle where the D3 plus 3 is going to start kicking in, that's an average of 8 mortal wounds against vehicles. And if you're lucky, you can one-shot pop most light to medium vehicles in the game with a single 5-man squad. Now, you're going to have to get very lucky. But it's on the cards, it's a threat, and it's a threat your opponent cannot ignore. And it's this combination of being surprisingly fast and maneuverable with the ability to just throw out a crap load of mortal wounds, which makes Krieg combat engineers very scary and makes them really powerful and a genuinely competitive choice. I know a lot of people which the first thing they put into their list is 1 to 3 units of Krieg combat engineers. And most guard players worth their salt aren't leaving home without these guys. In summary, the Krieg combat engineers have got a middling stat line and their war gear isn't that impressive, but their speed and their war gear abilities and their datasheet abilities are phenomenal, and it makes them an easy 2 thumbs up unit. I am going to be spamming these guys right until GW nerfs the crap out of them. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Are you a fan of the Krieg combat engineers, or do you think that there are other specialized infantry out there which do the same job better? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing, truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members, so thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.